driving. I think I'm driving for another company today. I'm already driving for somebody else's company, at least one trip today. Thank you for having me again for the opportunity to be able to see you guys, and I hope that you're chilling out and you're doing well. Doing what you got to do to stay focused on being focused. It's tough sometimes. I'll say being a single guy, staying focused on being focused. There's so many thirsty females out here. It's like, yo, I can really have my pick if I want to just give my money up. But they ain't gonna happen. So, yeah, I just try to stay focused. You know what I mean? There's a few quality women out here. There's a few. For the most part, all the rest of them ain't got a chance to get nobody. You might want to be a woman who had low self-esteem and, you know, can't keep their face off Facebook showing panties and butts and boobs. So it is what it is. They got to do what they got to do, though. That's what they got to do. I had to make sure I got my wallet here and everything. So yeah, go ahead, going to Newark a couple times to drop off a couple of clients. So I have to do that to make sure I got all my I got to remember put my popcorn in this joint because that's probably gonna be my dinner until if I get off early enough to get a real dinner. You know what I mean? But I put some popcorn in here to keep me nourished. Hey, I just want to talk about people not buying my music, and I really don't understand how I can't get at least $10 a day from people either downloading a song or doing something. And the first thing I'm going to hear is, well, where's your music? I'm going to say, when the last time you tried to look? You know, I don't try to be an a-hole about it, but I'm like, if I know I have friends who did music, you know, even if I ain't even like their music, I could probably give them a play, you know, and buy an album or something. I mean, considering I got 9 albums out, you would think that I can get somebody on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere to buy something, but you know, everybody, like I said, that's why I didn't want. I don't need 1 million subscribers. I don't need 10,000 subscribers because I can't get 2 subscribers to buy a freaking song. And initially, when I got on here, it was about the music, and then I changed from music to fashion. Then I ran to fragrances, and I started doing fragrances. That's pretty much how it happened. When it even come to the social media stuff. I mean, my music has always been number one in my life. I ain't know anything about fragrances when I started playing guitar when I was 13, 14 years old. I ain't know anything about no fragrances until I was about 16. My uncle turned me on to a fragrance called Aramis. I knew my dad always wore fragrances, but I didn't pay attention to them because I wasn't into fragrances. So I wasn't into fragrances, but I knew I was into music. And I was never into styling and fashion because even though my dad he can make clothes, all this stuff. I made my first pair of pants. Actually, I made my first pair of pants when I was 16 years old. But I wasn't really in it like I was in it for music. So, yeah, I like to look nice. I looked good when I was in high school. I had all the honeys and everything. And my dad not only was he a cleaner, he worked in the cleaners. He also did alterations. He can, you know, I forgot what he could do that. He do all that. So I wasn't like I was around all that all my life. But at this point, you know, I don't get paid from doing none of that stuff. I don't get paid from talking about fashion. I don't get paid from talking about fragrances because that's not what I want, which is why I don't need 1 million followers. Because even if I had 1 million followers, it'll be more disappointing to know I had 1 million followers, 100,000 followers, and still couldn't sell not one song. I probably couldn't even sell the hook, which is crazy to me. But again, that's why I decided to change my demographic and start hanging out in other places where I know people that, you know, don't mind spending $10, you know, support somebody who's trying to do something positive. Whereas, you know, of course, in the hood, nobody want to buy anything from you. They just want to be their own hood stars. Hood stars don't want you to be a star because they know the hood stars is only as good as the other hood stars that's around them. But me doing something professionally and being involved in music and having albums out and work with major artists and being a Grammy member, they'll never try to acknowledge that because it's well above their hood. It's well above their hood performance. And yeah, I'm mad at that. You know what they got to do. It's crazy to me. I can't move a song. I got a good feeling though. I turned on a client. I told the client where my music was. Not only did they look it up, they looked at the page and everything while I'm driving. And he was, oh, okay, you do music, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. So I think the next day, I saw someone that bought, just only get like 69 cents per song or 69 cents, $6.90 per album. The total came to like 10. I think I got paid $10.17 is what I got. 1017. So I'm just speculating that somebody might have bought an album. They might have bought an album, and then after they bought the album, then maybe they bought a couple singles or something like that. But other than that, yeah, I can't get anybody to buy music for real, for real. And especially I guess they listening and buying the music as I hear now, because even though I must say I listen to Heart and Soul and all that stuff, and I'm listening to artists I never even heard before. And music is okay. I mean, you know, all of it sound the same after a while. It's no different than their music sound the same. Like hip hop sound all the same. Like all the, you know, all the singers is doing the auto tunes all the same. So take care of this guy. All right, so we got some more, and see, that's my point. I got some more you in here just trying to talk, just talking garbage, right? I gotta sit here and take time to remove this food off my comments, because nobody wanna be in the point where they want to acknowledge what I've done. Everybody want to be a hood. Everybody will try to keep everybody down, and everybody love to try to keep me down, but you can't stop it because the legacy is always there. You can't take the albums away. You can't take away, you know, what I've done. It's going to be there, so either you can join or you don't have to join. But I mean, when it comes to me supporting people, I go and support these open micers and all that stuff. Listen to all these amateur night singers and so on and so forth. They haven't done anything. They haven't put any albums out. They're not real. They're just out, you know, singing open mic or whatever, which is cool. I do open mic from time to time. I do a karaoke from time to time, depending on where it is. But my point again is that I got a legitimate career with legitimate albums, legitimate Grammy member, all that stuff legitimate, and I can't get anybody to do anything. Is it because I'm a black man in the hood? I don't know. Because would I say that if I was a white guy, would they buy his stuff? I don't know. I don't know if it would be a Caucasian. It had to be, you know, Mexican or whatever for some people to buy. People just don't buy music anymore. Maybe that's just the case. Nobody downloads songs. Nobody buys any music. Again, it doesn't really matter to me in the sense that I like to talk about it, but it doesn't stop the show for me. It doesn't say that, okay, well, this guy, you know, if we don't buy his album, then he's going to disappear, because then all his albums will disappear and everything he's done in his career disappear. That's really like, that's kind of like dumb. So with that being said, I just try to go on about my business and keep it pushing. But I had no problem talking about my music career. I just got finished looking at earlier this day, this gentleman who used to play for Chaka Khan. He was the bass player. He played guitar too. And he was talking about how he was Chaka. He was talking about what happened to Rufus and how Rufus broke up and so on and so forth. And he was talking about even a guy in his band. Now, I remember Tony Maiden. I remember Rufus. We used to play Rufus songs. So when I was back in the day playing Rufus songs, I knew about Rufus very well. But to hear his story about how they broke up was crazy, because they broke up just as I consider people to be on the internet checking out my stuff. They broke up over envy. The guitar player wanted all the money. He wanted everything. He didn't want to share. He didn't want to give my man credit for coming up with parts on songs like Sweet Thing and stuff like that. You know, he was trying to act like he wrote the whole song, even though my man put in some key parts. Black folk, man. Black folk. That's why they never go as far as they can go. I mean, there's really no black artists, I'm call you black, no black artists out here that's like continuously like popping off. Like Taylor Swift still popping off. Beyonce, she's a devil, so she a devil worshiper. So, you know, Satan gonna keep her around so he can just keep corrupting female minds and anybody else who check her out. So that's fine. She's a Satanist. She gonna stick around for a while. They're gonna keep her alive for a while. Well, I'm talking about all the people who worked hard. I can say Ron Isley. Now, I was listening to a song yesterday from Ron Isley from the Isley Brothers. I think Ron needs to sit his behind down. But think about Ron in his shoe, man. As long as he can sing, he gonna sing. As long as he got somebody that's willing to produce albums and music for him, he's gonna keep singing. So I give him that. Yo, if you still got the pipes, Charlie Wilson is another one. Charlie Wilson can sing his behind also, as long as he got somebody gonna keep putting out tracks for him. He can keep singing too. Them guys in their 70s. I think Ernie Osley is 80. I mean Ernie's still playing too with his brother Ron. He trying to put out out. He's got in the 80s, but there should be more people my age, like 50s and 60s, who actually had music back in the day that should be still being relevant. Like everybody want to bring up hip hop. My man always talking about hip hop, man. Hip hop is dead. Hip hop is a dead art. Hip hop is for people who just trying to hold on to a 1967 Cadillac because they're keeping it up and shiny, but there's a money pit. It ain't worth anything unless it's truly collectible. I can have a 1967 Cadillac wingtip in the back on all that stuff, but if it don't run right, it's just garbage. So the thing about music is nobody want to keep hearing no hip hop. Nobody want to keep hearing no old school hip hop. It's tiring, man. I don't want to hear no hip hop. I'm not tuning in old school hip hop. I'm just trying. I want to hear something new and innovative. I want to hear some new music. I don't want to hear no AI. Freaking Timbaland selling out to the man for AI. I don't want to hear no AI music. I want to hear somebody who's playing some instruments like myself, developing songs like myself, writing the lyrics like myself, singing the song like myself. Putting in the work. I want to see people doing that. You know what I mean? I want nobody picking up some samples off a joint. And I don't want to go to church to hear the same old songs sound the same old way in the church. I mean, I don't go to church anyway. Even if I went, I get tired of the music. Like, why you still sound the same? Why y'all man, stop. Why don't y'all put an album out or something? Or maybe I'm missing the part that maybe there are some people with albums out. I just don't know anybody with any albums out around my circle. But they know I have albums out. They know I'm a Grammy member. They know all that. And they still not going to support me. So I figured since my man wanted to tell a story about how Rufus broke up and talk about the music business, he talk about the music business as well. The music business in Philly is whack. I did hear a Jeff Bradshaw song yesterday, but he was with Robeson, the brother. He ain't even got, where's his albums out? He should have some albums out. If you ain't generating a lot of money, but most of these people like myself, you can't generate any money because black folks just not going to download any music. And they go to a show, though. They go to wherever that place is in Philly, down by the gallery or whatever it's called. They're going to see somebody perform, which is cool. You put $36. Oh, no, I think I'd rather buy 3 albums from somebody at $10 a pop to go see them perform at $36. It might be a bad performance, but at least I know when they was in the studio, they was cutting the album, everything had to be right. So I would probably take my $36 and buy 3 albums and support the brother that way. Instead of coming to a performance, you might not have a great performance. It might be one of them off nights. You might not have such a good performance. Or the band might sound like garbage. But I know if I buy an album, it's going to be perfect because I took the time to make sure everything was done right. If it took a day, a month, a year, it got done right. So, it's just one of them things, man. I just don't think that there's ever going to be a time in the near future I'm going to be a millionaire. I don't need money. I'll just go to work. I got my pension, Social Security, my military. A lot of things that none of y'all ever experienced. As much as I'm here doing some driving, doing some limo driving while I'm out here. But I don't know nobody I know who went in the military, had a job for 36 straight years, don't have anybody supporting them, no wives. I don't know any single guys doing what I'm doing in my sphere. Nobody. All the dudes I know got wives whatsoever, you know what I mean? They got to have partnerships. I've been doing this all solo molo, for years. I don't have any children and none of that, man. So my thing is I try to be like encouraging the people who, feel as though they got to have a wife or you got to have that. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a wife. But the reality of it is that if you're doing all the work, then who cares about the other person? I don't need another person divvying in my divvies. I'm sitting here doing all the work. I'm putting out albums, I'm getting paid and all this stuff. Now you taking the money. Why? Could you inspire me by giving me a little cuckoo? No, I don't understand it, man. But I just try and keep it real with y'all. I'm just that real dude. And I'm gonna say what I want to say. What's on my mind. I'm gonna say what I think because I'm not hustling subscribers. I don't hustle subs. I don't need to beg for 100,000 subscribers like my man said. If my man can have 100,000 subscribers, he's a guru of fragrances. This is back in 2018. He's a guru of fragrances. He's this and that. What he'll realize is that I don't want to be held captive by a group of subscribers who just want to see me do the same thing over and over again to be in competition with some other people who don't do it as well or may do it better. And now I got to be in a competition with people. No, what I do is right here. I do music. I do life. And ain't no competition with that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I don't know nobody like me who's done as much as I've done in my life. I said from the military to driving a bus to working for a job 36 years, to being a Grammy member, to playing all the instruments, to having the studio, all that stuff. I don't know nobody like me. I don't have nobody look up to like me. And the women don't want to put their sons around me, like this one who got me all jacked up in the school system. I'm trying to encourage them to do something. You know what I mean? And women don't want to put their sons around me because then there'll be too much pressure on them. Because their sons have become obviously hip to what mom is about, which is probably nothing except being on YouTube and showing titties and butts. You know, and somebody call her like, why are you always doing titties and butts, mom? And why don't you have a husband? And why don't you have a man? Where's daddy? So, have at that. Enjoy that. I'm just keeping it real with you. RaJuR cool. RaJuR, whatever you call me, I'm going to be here. And when I'm not here anymore, my music's still going to be here. You can shut the internet down. You shut it all down, but it doesn't erase the accomplishments. So why don't you work on getting some accomplishments? Why don't y'all work on doing something? If you can't do that, support somebody who's doing it and doing it the right way. You know, I ain't out here stealing money. I ain't out here beating women. I ain't out here, catching me in some old hoopla, going to jail and all types of shenanigans. You don't see about me. Like I said, 36 years at one job. Only people I know do 36 at one job is the same job I work at. They do 36 years at one job. But they still, and then some have been in the Navy as well. But not many. When I left there, I was the only cat that was in the military. When I was working there, besides a couple of people who were retired, they were in the military. They was in the reserves. But they didn't play music. So now we just stacking on the credibility that I have, again, from being a musician, then the Navy, then a job for 36 years, and now a chauffeur, and paraprofessional. A lot of stuff in my life. And I won't get any applause. I get some knucklehead right here talking about fart for me, or blah, 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 some old bull crap. And I'm just saying, that's how people are. You're probably a black person. Bust a fart. See, that's what people want me to do. They want me to downgrade myself. They want me to bust a fart or dig up my nose until my finger come out my ear. They want you to do stupid stuff. I'm not entertaining that. I'm too grown for that. So it is what it is. I just want to have this talk on my way to get ready to move some millionaires today. Businessmen, businesswomen. That's what I'm about to do. I'm about to meet new people, make connections with new people, and stuff like that. That's what I do. But people who are envious, let them be envious. I'm always trying to learn something new. Somebody can show me something new. I'm like, oh, sure, I'm down with that. Show me how you do it. Show me how you did what you did. And make sure it was honest. Whatever. Now, some things I can't do. I'm older, but I mean, I can't. Mayweather boxer. I can't box. I can't be a Mayweather and try to make $1 million in my head. So I can't do that. We're talking about stuff that is reasonable that I can use my hands and my talent to do. Something you use your hand and your talent to do. Just try to do that. It's never too late. As long as you're breathing, there's still time for you to try to be talented. Create something. Don't create chaos, because that's what this world is set up for right now, and I just ignore it all. None of this stuff bothers me. Chaos. Black people like chaos. Not just black people. I'm saying because I'm not representative of anybody, because I'm not a color, but most people that like chaos. They live off chaos. You know why? Because they don't have anything else going for them. They have nothing else going for them. When the chaos is over and they go home and they go to sleep, they probably can't go to sleep because they've been involved in so much chaos and so much foolishness that they just can't help themselves. They can't even go to sleep. They so wound up from being ridiculously ignorant and not really having a life, they lose their minds. When they lose their minds, they don't know what they're going to do with themselves. So they just say, well, let's join a group that's going to be chaos. Let's join chaos. Let's join Satanists. Let's join atheists. Let's join people in the church. This guy was doing a sermon. I forgot his name. And he just talking about, just enjoying. He was kind of keeping the hood. He's kind of keeping the hood. And if I'm here, bro, everything is good. I mean, Miss Sonia, I'm sorry. Oh, Miss Sonia, how you been? Yeah, I can't really say I got the shades on and driving. Hey, I'm here. I'm well, baby. I'm here. I'm here talking about it. I mean, how about yourself? You here, so I'm assuming everything is straight. Everything is groovy. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm just trying to, just try to get some things together. And I just think that too many people will just don't try to do enough for their life. And wherever they get, where they go, when if there's such places and stuff like that, if you're able to look back at your life and just say, I ain't do absolutely nothing. That's gotta be horrible. To know that you've lived however many years you lived and you've really done nothing. You haven't contributed to anything, you haven't taught anybody anything, you haven't done anything yourself, you haven't created a legacy. A lot of people like to live off their children who are now in jail or doing something crazy, or people like to lose, because people who don't really have anything good, they try to live through their children. That's why they have children. I mean, that's not why they have them, but I'm saying, while you have them, they start living through their children. Oh, my child's doing great. Well, how you doing? My child just got, but how you doing? What you doing? Well, I got my child through that. Okay, but what about you personally? Because if something happened to your child, like many black children became famous or whatever, and they end up going in jail, trying to be hip hop rappers and all this stuff. So what you say at that point, so let's start creating some stuff that you say you can do. Create a legacy for yourself. Your children are not your legacy. Money is not your legacy. Your legacy is your character. Your legacy is the talent. Your legacy is what you use to encourage other people to try to find what their talent is, what their niche is. And I came on here just originally, like I said, talking about why people buying my music. And then I just had to realize within that statement, I was saying, well, people ain't buying nobody's music. People don't buy music anymore. Back in the day, we buying albums. I sold most of my albums. I'm buying albums every week. I'm buying 2-3 albums. Gotta have them. And I still have some. But then there's some people who just don't buy music anymore. I mean, most important, you can really just listen to music for free. You can actually just go to SoundCloud and listen to my music for free, and you don't have to even buy it. So, and we can't, us as artists, ain't nobody making no money as artists. Don't ever believe that you see all these people out here and they making songs or whatever, and they perform, they ain't making no money. They barely surviving. Even if they got a doggone record contract, they barely surviving. People not even signing record contracts. Nobody even care about record contracts. They don't even make any difference about record contracts. So if you're doing as good as the contract, and you got somebody that can just uncontract you, then what kind of life you have? You got to start doing stuff you don't want to do. You got to start compromising your lifestyle. You got to start doing Diddy parties. You got to show up anyway. That's part of your initiation. That's part of your ritual. You want to deal, and it ain't got to be with Diddy. It ain't got to be you want to deal with Diddy. But you want to deal with Atlantic Records. You want to deal with Universal. You got to go to a Diddy party. And then you got to go and get caught on camera getting yourself reamed out, whether you're a dude or a female, or some dude got some dude's joint in his mouth, whatever, doing some old freaky deaky. That's a ritual. You want a record deal? Okay. You need to head on over to Diddy's tonight and do what he tell you to do. And it ain't just Diddy. Diddy got other people that make you do stuff too. It ain't just Diddy can't handle all them people. Diddy can't say, everybody get in the room and do some nasty, ill-gotten, satanic stuff. No, he got other people that put people in other rooms too, probably. He can't handle all the people himself. Have you seen what a Diddy party look like? And then all of a sudden you keep around just a select number of people, the people you got to initiate, the people that, got to sign their contract, and then they got to go and do what they got to do. Then, he'll keep probably got maybe 100 of them. He can't run all 100 of them. He busy in his room doing his thing. Whatever that is. So, people ain't got no money in the music business now. So you hear him on the radio because you got to put something on the radio. You got to play something on Sirius XM. Because if they didn't, they'd be out of business. Because really, you can just go on any platform. Like some of my music is here, some of my music is there. Some of my music is on Apple, some of my music is on YouTube. Some of my music is on SoundCloud. Well, all my music is on SoundCloud. Got music everywhere. But you don't have to pay me to do it. You can just go and listen to it for free. I would hope just out of generosity that you'll say, Raj, I like that album. I bought that album. Maybe like one of my clients did recently. Cause I know it wasn't nobody that I know that bought it. So it's like, these people can't do butt backwards. Right. So yeah, it is what it is, man. But I ain't begging for nobody to buy any music. I'm done. Hey, well, why don't you buy the music? I ain't saying please buy it because I need to pay bills or whatsoever. It'll be nice, you know. But again, if I became a million seller, there's a lot of million sellers out there, but they ain't got no money like that unless you Dr. Dre, or unless you on that level, you the production, you the producer, and you popping off. Then that's different. But if you ain't the producer and you just a singer and you ain't write the songs, you know what I mean? Like Homegirl, what's her name? He, or she, whatever her name is, she. You know, she wrote all the music. She a guitar player. She play instruments. So that's gonna pop off for her. She gonna be good money. She ain't just go sing the songs. She wrote the songs. She played instruments. They got rid of all the princes. Michael Jackson really didn't play a lot of instruments, but he know how to make songs with his mouth. No Diddy. You know what I mean? But all them guys who are multi-talented and whatsoever, they ain't giving them no contracts. A lot of them not entertainers. Like me, I entertain as well. I know how to dance. I know how to move a crowd. I know how to bounce. If I just not Google myself, if I went through enough Instagrams and I can just type in where I knew I was at, and maybe I was singing or dancing whatsoever, I know I find myself on a lot of cameras because I see a lot of cameras up when I'm doing what I do. Cameras be up. I be dancing, whatever I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. Even if I'm just going in there to dance, I have people check me out. When I go and dance on Friday night, I step in Jules or some places popping off. Cameras are up. Because I might be dancing with somebody's girlfriend. They want me, I'm dancing with the girlfriend, I get in the picture, right? So I'm all over the internet. If I'm not dancing or performing, whatever, I'm all over the internet. And you know, sometimes I dance a little, you know, a little illicit. Sometimes I do a little, you know, hip thrusting and penis pumping a little bit in my dancing. But the women like it. Ain't nobody ever say, stop doing that. That was rude. That's ignorant. Ain't nobody ever told me not to do it. So I ain't never been like, why are you dancing like that? Nobody ever said that to me when I was dancing. And I was like, yeah, whatever, man. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was just dancing. Shoot, they're doing the same thing. I was just doing it back. But again, whether I'm on open mic or wherever I am, I'm telling you, I'm on a camera everywhere. I'm on somebody's cell phone. And somebody done posted it. And I don't have time to be looking around for it. And they don't know my name. There's no, hey, maybe open mic night. I might just sing. They might never remember what my name was, open mic night. Or whether it was karaoke night. But they know they put the camera up when I started singing. Oh, snap, this dude can sing. The same thing I do when I see singers sing. And I post their stuff. My man Jeff Light, you know, last time I was there, you know, I don't really go to them kind of situations that much anymore. But he had me up on Facebook on his open mic night, all 3 songs. So I'm not trying to like run my wind out because again, me trying to get people to buy my music is like leading a horse to water and trying to make them drink some vodka. I don't know. But whatever it is, it really don't matter. Again, my legacy is what it is. You can't take it away. You can't erase it. What I've done in my life, many haven't. And I've done a lot of things. And again, like I say on my page, I'm not a one-trick pony. I don't just do 1 or 2 things. I do 5, 6 things. Well. So, you know, because I'm that kind of guy. I'm a perfectionist. I want to be well. When I do stuff, I'm going to do the best of my ability. And if I can't do it superstar perfect, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. So I say this to say that a lot of people are not going to like this video because a lot of people ain't really doing anything with their life. They wake up in the morning and then the rest of the day is like, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to a movie. I'm going to go like, but what are you going to do for yourself? What are you going to do to create a legacy? And someone said, oh, you can't create legacies anymore. But there's always a time for you to create a legacy. You can create a legacy. You can decide when you get up in the morning, I want to do this. I want to be an artist. I want to, you know, learn how to cultivate flowers and plants. Like a young lady, she started out with fragrances. I forgot her name. She was so cool, though. She started with fragrances. Then she started to do gardening and stuff like that. Now she know all about gardening. She wasn't a one-trick pony. Because I told, don't be a one-trick pony. Don't get on here just doing one thing and live by that. Do more than one thing. Be good at a myriad of things. That's all I got for you. You can't be inspired or try to get your children to look at this video and be inspired and try to stop being normal and start trying to be a part of chaos and thinking that cussing and fussing is going to get you famous. Or it will, Or cussing and fussing will get you on somebody's camera, acting like an idiot, or getting locked up, because that's what you probably like to do. That's some of your legacies right there. Some of your legacies is hell raising, which is how you live, probably where you might end up at. I don't know anything about heaven and hell. I know some got to be held accountable for the way you live a life that was given to you, and you're just acting a freaking fool all the time. You know, there's something you ain't going to get, maybe, or there's some place you ain't going to want to be. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, I'm trying to do the best I can to do the best I can, and you don't hear no profanity coming out of my mouth unless I really get involved in the situation and one might spit up or somebody coming at me kind of jacked up. For the most part, that's not the kind of mouth my mother raised. My mother never used profanity. I ain't had no business using it when I was using it, but I don't use it now. You know, everybody want to get with me. I start saying something about it, they want to start cussing. Especially women. Women got the nastiest mouths ever. For some reason, they think they're the queens of the earth. But you're seeing so many of them getting locked up for doing dirty deeds and acting a fool and stealing and all kinds of stuff. Just go on YouTube. Put in black woman stealing. And you'll have like 1,000 videos to look at. Stealing from here, stealing from there. That's their legacy. Let them live their legacy. Then their kids can pick up their legacy. Now they got a family that's what we call is a cursed family. Like some of you come from cursed families. Some of you come from people that your life has always been cursed. But you got to break that curse. Somehow you got to break that curse. You can't, just because everything in your family, everybody was a criminal, I mean, you have to be the criminal. You can break a curse, and pray and break a curse. I don't know what you got to do to break the curse, but you need to break the curse. Break the curse. Don't stop. Because they trying to get some dude to pick them. All they're going to do is end up getting banged out, getting pregnant, and getting jacked up, and they're going to cry rape. They don't get what they want and all kinds of dumb stuff. And dudes the same way. I hear acting a fool, man. Talking about how many honeys they banging and whatsoever. I used to do that. I used to be all into banging honeys. But I realized I had to stop doing that. My father did that. I know my father was married to my mother for death to his part. A lot of you don't have mothers and fathers as family members. You guys either have a mother or you have a father. A lot of you don't have a mother and father still living with you. Even at my age. Even if they haven't passed, so they're still here. A lot of you don't have a mother and father. You wasn't raised with a mother and father throughout your lifetime. So you really don't have a guideline. You really don't have a situation. Now, you can say, for me, I ain't have any children, but I still got the capability, so who knows? I might be another Al Pacino and mess around and do something, but if you're going to be a wife of mine, it ain't going to be some woman I met off the street, and I ain't strapped up right, and she ended up getting pregnant. Now it's going to be somebody, she's going to be sexy and everything, and she can have some babies. That's it. But no, I didn't want to have any children. I realized I was somewhat selfish, so I didn't have any children. You know, and I drink a little bit, but I'm not an alcoholic. You know, I ain't got to drink every day. Friends, no, I ain't got to drink every day. No, I ain't drinking today. In fact, no, I ain't drinking tomorrow either. No, I can take a couple days off. I don't have to drink every day because I don't have any problems. I need to drink every day to drown problems away in my life. You know, everybody got situations they're going through. I do have situations, but ain't enough going to make me drink every day that I try to forget them. Well, I need that to make me feel good about doing something. I don't need to drink to go back in the studio. I don't make drunk albums. I don't make drunk music. So that ain't going to happen. So it's like life than what you're doing now, and guarantee you no matter what position you're in. Because Floyd used to have a lot of money. Floyd's about to not have a lot of money. Because he was doing the wrong thing, doing it the wrong way. You don't just get, billions of dollars all of a sudden, now you down to $1 million. You know what I mean? MC Hammer, remember? $1 million. Gave to all his friends. Now they ain't got nothing to give back to him. And he still got money. He ain't stupid enough not to have any money. But all these black artists, black folk, get rich whatsoever, and all of a sudden now they ain't got nothing anymore. That's why I never wanted to be rich. I just want to be able to just do what I want to do, the way I want to do it every now and then, get a little something special whatsoever. The rest of the time, I don't need to be rich. I don't need $1 million so somebody be talking about me. Oh man, Raj used to be a millionaire. Look at him, he on the corner. You know what I mean? Poor thing happened to Meldrick Taylor. Meldrick Taylor was a great boxer. He did win that fight, by the way, with Chavez, if you know anything about boxing. He lived in Philly. He lived in Cheltenham, where I'm living at now. Had Mercedes and everything. He was making money. But the problem with him is he wasn't literate. The only problem with Meldrick Taylor was he wasn't literate. He didn't know much about literacy. And so when everything started falling apart for him, he didn't have anything to back up on, because literacy is very important when you have that kind of money. Like Mayweather's not literate, but he got somebody else to kind of help him do not being literate, how to talk through contracts. You're not gonna go and try to settle a $3 billion contract for an investment without having somebody there standing for him. Mayweather can't talk. Mayweather didn't graduate from high school, so he can't talk. So if you don't have a legacy of being able to talk, then you're not going to have a legacy of keeping your money for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy like that. But I don't know. I was trying to encourage y'all just to do something. Stop trying to be average and stop walking around the hood like you some kind of superstars. Especially a lot of people I know walking around in freaking Philly like they superstars, and they ain't doing nothing but just doing the same old thing, working for the same old people, flying to the same old gigs, doing the same old thing. I don't see no legacy in that. I see legacy in creating your own thing, doing your own thing. I call that legacy. I'm about to legacy some millionaires around there. I'm at my spot. We're checking to get my whip. Today I'm driving a Nautilus, number 85. So I'm going to go find that puppy and then park near it and take my stuff out of my car. That's a Volkswagen. They know I like to have my cars up front. Obviously, they don't have my car up front. I got a Volvo. This is a day for a Volvo. This is a good day to drive a Volvo. I mean, I'll mind the Nautilus though, because the Nautilus is brand new. Here's my baby right here, Nautilus 85. I let y'all look at it. Now I got to take care of business. I get up and get out of here. I got to be on time. And I got to make my coffee, make sure it's nice and coffee made. So I'm at the gig. Why I like to park right next to my car. Right here, this is my car for the day, Nautilus 85. So before I do that, I have to go and get the key so I can open it up. So this is a brand new one. It might still have a sticker tag on the back. No, I got a tag now. No, it don't. It still got the temp on the back. So this is a brand new 85, 2025. It's a hybrid too. So sometimes it's like you can't tell when it's off and when it's on, because it's like, you'll think it's on, but it's not on until you take your foot off the pedal. Then like, not like that on and off thing you get when you It's not like the on and off thing you do that you have in your car, and when you stop, cut the car off and stuff like that. It ain't like that. So I go over here and grab my key. Looking for 85. Bam, 85. Grab that. That's my baby. Now I go in here and see if they got anything particularly here I need. They got all the doggone hand sanitizers, but I got some in the car. Probably better, boom. Anyway, though, I don't have to go to the restroom. I just go anyway because I'm trying to do the bladder. I was going into New York the other day, and man, we got caught in some traffic. And I was trying to make it to a gas station before we went into the dip. Hold on a second. I'm gonna put this on pause. So I gotta go to my car. There's a little drizzle out here, but it's not bad. It's a little wet, but there's nothing the Nautilus can't handle. Being it's like really SUV. So I'm gonna go and get her set up. Is it already on? It's not already on. I think it's already on, but it's not. Let me get in here and start her up. Come on now. Think about it, you can't even hear it. You can't even hear it. Freaking opening up the doors, not opening and stuff like that. So, in the start, like, so you can't the engine start or nothing in this one. So I got to get my panels ready for my phone. Got to get my phone holder. Get my seat up. All right, and like I said, I wish I can back up because I got to put all my stuff on that side of the car, which is my foods. Don't forget the popcorn rods. Don't forget the popcorn rods. Put all my foods on this side. My cooler. Put my cooler over here. I put my cooler over here and bada bing, bada boom. Let me go get my stuff out my car. I'll be right back. All right, had to go and get my car holder for my phone. All right, had to do that. Yeah, how much your boy bars 100. That's that up. When I get in here, I'll check everything I need to check. Get everything ready for the day to go. I got to go to Bethlehem. It's my first run today. I have to go to Bethlehem, PA, and pick up a client and take them to Newark Airport. I'm going to turn this air on, man. It's cold in here. Must have been hot yesterday. Must have been hot yesterday. And get the rest of stuff in my car. I get my bags. I gotta go get my popcorn. Holla. I get the popcorn. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm about done. I got to get my coffee together. I have everything else. I think my coffee. When you drive out here, you got to have coffee. You know what I'm saying? Got to have it. Not really a coffee drinker, but I'm a coffee drinker. Okay. So I'm going to put in what I got to put in on my phone. Where I have to go. And then I'll also set up my car to do the same. And we're definitely going to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So I got to bounce and set up my car, set up my trips. Y'all be cool with it. Enjoy. And remember, do something. Just do something, man. I'm out.